Hello, and welcome to DiS-Versal Podcast. This is technically episode 12, but is episode 2 of DiS-Versal Podcast. So we have officially changed from Wonderful World of Diz over to DiS-Versal Podcast. So if you listen, you need to go back and listen to the last podcast that we had to fully explain why we changed over to DiS-Versal Podcast instead of the Wonderful World of Diz. Even though I love Disney, there's a lot to talk about when it comes to all the other theme parks in the area as well. So if you know me, my name is Sean. I have a big family, a lot of kids, wife, one coming, a baby being born probably in the next few days or so. So it's technically due next Friday, so I might have to record and do my podcast a little bit early next week just in case something happens and I'm not able to have a podcast next week because I'm going to have a baby. Oh yeah. So with this podcast, we talk about not only Disney, but we talk about Universal, Busch Gardens, SeaWorld, Legoland, anything that has to do with theme parks, because we love theme parks, we love having fun, and just having a good time. So this is going to be a more upbeat, hopefully, podcast that from the Wonderful World of Diz. I loved doing the Wonderful World of Diz, but I think I'm going to doing this a lot better, just because it has to do with, I've worked at pretty much all the theme parks in Florida, so I have a love for all of them, and I have a passion for sharing information about the theme parks with everyone. So if you know me personally, you know me that I don't just always talk about Disney. I talk about Universal, I talk about Busch Gardens, I talk about pretty much everything. So keeping me in, with the Wonderful World of Diz and only being able to talk about Disney was killing me, because I'm like, oh, there's so much other stuff going on in theme parks, and I know people love Disney, and I know the people that were listening to the Wonderful World of Diz love Disney, but there are other people that follow me that also love on Twitter and stuff like that also love the other theme parks. So I didn't want to exclude anybody, because it's a big world where it's not just one little thing. It's a big world out there with a lot of different theme parks. So with that being said, let's get into this episode. So today we're going to talk about Disney, we're going to talk about Busch Gardens, we're going to talk about Universal, and we're going to talk about Legoland. So we're jumping right into this and talking about pretty much all the theme parks other than SeaWorld. But yeah, so I might throw a little bit of SeaWorld in there, you never know. So the first thing we're going to talk about is Legoland, which I only live about a minute away from. I literally can see Legoland from where I live, so it's not too far from the park that we have annual passes for, obviously, because we live right there. So if we feel like going to the water park, it's right there. So Legoland has been, all summer, has been having their light up the night fireworks show, and this weekend, thank goodness, is the last weekend, because like I said, I live 2 seconds away from Legoland, so I can literally hear their fireworks every single weekend. They don't do it during the week like Disney. They're not as big as Disney, obviously, so they don't have fireworks every single night, because they can't really afford to have fireworks every single night like they do. But every Friday night, Saturday night, and I think Sunday night, they've been having fireworks at 9 o'clock every night during the weekend, and it's not a very long fireworks show. So it's nothing to rush over to Winter Haven and see Legoland fireworks. It's not, the best fireworks show in the world. It only lasts like 3 minutes, like literally. I will be in my shower at 9 o'clock at night, and I hear boom, boom, boom. I'm like, what the heck is that? And I always forget that the fireworks are happening during the weekend over there, and it's like 3 minutes, and they're done. So it's not that big of a fireworks show. So again, don't rush over here because you think you have to see these fireworks before they end. If you live close to the area, yeah, come on, you have an annual pass. I wouldn't buy a pass just to go see the fireworks either. But I would go to the park just to have fun, because they do have a lot of fun rides over there. My kids love Legoland. It's more for the younger kids, I will say. Legoland is not for the older, like teenage kids, because it's Legos, so more younger kids like Legos. There is roller coasters and stuff like that. They're not huge roller coasters that you can't live without. But me being a 6'4" person, I can barely fit into any of these rides. So they are made for smaller kids. So just keep that in mind. If you're a taller person like me, my legs have a hard time fitting into these roller coasters and rides that they have, which I am very excited actually about the new ride that they're going to be coming out with, Ninjago. Pretty sure they already have it in California, and they're going to be bringing it over to Legoland, Florida, which I'm very happy about because it looks really cool. It's kind of like Buzz Lightyear, but you don't have a gun. You're just using your hand as the firing weapon, so there's no real weapons. It's just using your hand and being like a ninja and throwing stars and hitting things, and it's all done by like a motion thing in the front of your car, so it knows where you're aiming at and what so it's really cool, the technology that's coming. And I'm always amazed by the technology that we have nowadays, with all the stuff that we can do with rides and stuff like that, like Shanghai Disneyland. If you haven't seen the rides for Shanghai Disneyland, you need to go on YouTube and check out the point of view videos, the POV videos that they have for those rides. Pirates of the Caribbean is amazing. I want to ride that so bad. But anyway, so Legoland's fireworks light up the night last weekend. If you are in the area and you want to go check them out, and you haven't checked them out yet and you have a pass, go check them out. I've heard they're good. I haven't literally seen them. Well, I've seen them because I can see them from my house. But I haven't been inside the park because I always forget to go there during the weekend. We usually go during the week because it's less busy during the summer. So they don't have the fireworks during the week. Yeah, go check them out. Should be fun. Like I said, they're not that long, so you'll be out of there at like 9:05. They close really early, by the way, so they're not like Disney and Universal that stay open until like 10, 11, 12, 1 o'clock in the morning. So Legoland, last night for the fireworks. Go see them if you're in the area. So next up is Disney. So today I put on my website that Disney, the Hollywood Reporter, is saying that Disney is rebooting, whatever. It's not remaking, it's rebooting the Rocketeer. And as a kid, I absolutely loved the Rocketeer. I don't know what it was about that movie that I loved so much, but it was just this random pilot that got caught up in some stuff, and he put on this prototype jetpack and became a superhero. So I was like, what? If I find a jetpack, I can become a superhero as a kid. So, and I loved the helmet that he had. It looked really cool. And so they're rebooting this series, not series, but they're rebooting the movie and making a sequel. And it's not the original guy's not going to be in it, I don't think, but it's going to be focusing on a black female lead, is what they say. That is what's going to happen. It's not, like I said, it's not a remake of the movie. It is a reboot. So it's a sequel that's coming out sometime. They don't know when, but they're in the works for making it. So the Hollywood Reporter says the project in the early development stages is considered a sequel reboot and in modern day twist. Will be headlined by a black female character. The new take keeps the story in a period setting and offers a fresh view on the characters. Set 6 years after the original Rocketeer and after secret has vanished while fighting the Nazis. An unlikely new hero emerges, a young African-American female pilot, who takes up the mantle of Rocketeer in the attempt to stop an ambitious and corrupt rocket scientist from stealing jetpack technology in what could prove to be a turning point in the Cold War. So it's basically the Rocketeer with a female character instead of the male character, and it's set 6 years after. So I like the idea of it not being like Mary Poppins, where it's like 50 years later that they're redoing a sequel, and it's not going to be the same person, but it's still going to be the same person. You know what I'm saying? It's still Mary Poppins. It's not like a separate person because it's not the same character playing Mary Poppins, but it's a sequel to... See, I don't like when they make sequels to movies and don't keep the character in the original person in the movie. I know it would be hard for Julie Andrews to be Mary Poppins because she's so old, but don't make a sequel then. Just make a remake of the movie. Make the whole movie over again instead of making a sequel to the movie. But The Rocketeer, I don't know when it's coming out. Don't know if it's going to be coming out. They're working on it, but that doesn't mean it's actually going to come out. They could get into it and say, you know what, no, forget it. We're done. We're not making this movie. They've done that with movies before. So, but The Rocketeer I loved as a child. I actually might watch it again just because this has come up, and I love that movie. So it's still one of my favorite movies throughout the time. So The Rocketeer, don't know if they're actually going to be... if it's actually going to come out, but they're working on it, so get ready for that. The next thing we're going to be talking about is Busch Gardens. So Busch Gardens' new roller coaster, Cobra Curse, that came out last month, has been a big hit. It's doing really well with the critics and the reviews and stuff like that. And I haven't got to ride it yet, but I because of the whole, wife being pregnant thing, we can't really ride thrill rides, and some of my kids are too small to ride thrill rides, so it'd just be me going, and that's not fun to go to a theme park by yourself. I mean, it can be, but not when I have a wife that will kill me if I go to theme parks by myself and don't take her. But anyways, so Busch Gardens new roller coaster, Cobra's Curse. If you don't know what it is, it's a really cool looking roller coaster that has 3 different stages in this roller coaster. But for the queue has an exhibit with live snakes. So if you don't like snakes, even when they're behind like a glass case, don't ride this ride, because there's live snakes in this queue ride. So if you're Indiana Jones, don't ride Cobra's Curse. But if you don't mind if they're behind glass, whatever, you can ride and go through the queue. But there's 3 phases to this ride. There is the regular standard go forward roller coaster, and then it flips and turns into a backward roller coaster, and then it stops again, and then you're going in a spinning, going on a roller coaster. So it's kind of like Everest meets Primeval Whirl. That's what I kind of think of it as, is because it's a regular roller coaster, and then it turns into the backward roller coaster like Everest. But it also goes again in another part of it and starts spinning like Primeval Whirl. But it's a bigger version of Primeval Whirl. So I really want to ride this ride. Busch Gardens, if you're listening, you can give me passes. That'd be awesome. I'll go ride the ride, and I'll do a better review on it than me looking at it and saying what I think about it. But yeah, and the another cool part of this roller coaster, it has a vertical lift system, and it's the first of its kind. So it's kind of like Rip Ride Rocket, where you're going straight up, but you're not facing straight up. You're kind of like on an elevator on the ride. So you go up like an elevator, and then it stops right at the face of that huge cobra. And King Cobra, I think it's, it starts way up there. So you're not going up a lift system like a normal roller coaster. You're going up an elevator on the ride system, on the ride vehicle. So it's pretty cool that's how the ride starts. So you're kind of like coming out of a a dig site and going up, and then there's the huge 80-foot cobra staring you in the face. So it looks really cool. I really want to ride it. Again, Busch Gardens, if you're listening, wink wink, send some tickets my way. But I will be going once my wife has the baby and we can get everything situated after that. So we're going to be doing Busch Gardens, SeaWorld, their Mako. See, I said I was going to throw SeaWorld in there, and the Mako roller coaster, which looks amazing, and I really want to ride that ride as well. So and SeaWorld and Busch Gardens are together. So again, throw some tickets my way. I'll be happy. So yeah, I want to ride those two roller coasters because they look awesome, and they're new and inventive. So that's what I like about those two rides is they're inventive. They're not like normal roller coasters. So yeah, so that's those are really cool, and we're gonna be going to Universal more and stuff like that once the baby gets here and we're all situated. So yeah, Busch Gardens, that new roller coaster, Cobra's Curse, can't wait to ride it. It's got thumbs up by everybody that's rode it already, and I can't wait to do it myself. So the next thing we're going to be talking about is Universal Studios, and they have Rock the Universe every year, and their tickets for Rock the Universe are now on sale. So if you plan on going to Rock the Universe, which I have gone a few times, and I really like it, it's fun and entertaining, and if you like Christian rock music, you can go and ride the rides too. So it's not only the concerts that are there, but you can ride pretty much every single ride that's open. You can ride it, and you can also get Express Pass for Rock the Universe nights. Even though it's not as busy as normal nights, it's still pretty busy because there's a lot of people that love to go to this event. It's kind of like if you've ever been to Disney's Night of Joy. It's the same concept, except for it's at Universal and not Disney. So they still have Christian artists and playing and blah blah blah. But the difference is during Night of Joy, you can't get Fast Pass. Rock the Universe, at Universal, you can get Express Pass. It costs money, but you can get it. Which I kind of like both Disney and Universal's systems when it comes to getting through the line faster. Disney has the Fast Pass where you can get 3 Fast Passes, and then you can but you have certain times you can go. Express Pass, you don't have that. You just buy the pass and you can go on these rides and do it whenever you want. You're not focused on, am I going to make it to my next Fast Pass? The Express Pass, even though you're purchasing it, you can go anytime you want. So you can just go back to back. The downside is the bigger rides, like I'm pretty sure Kong, Reign of Kong, Skull Island, that does not have Express Pass yet, and neither do the 2 Harry Potter rides. They don't have Express Pass either. So you can ride everything else except for you still have to wait in those lines. So that's the downside to Express Pass. Disney has Fast Pass for every single one of their rides. So, but again, the difference is you have to wait, and you can only get a certain amount of Fast Passes at Disney. At Universal, you can get all the rides except for those major 3, the new ones, and pretty much ride everything back to back and not have to wait in any lines. And another good thing that their annual passes at Universal have is the Express Pass after 4 for the Premier annual pass. You get that Express Pass, so anytime you go after 4 o'clock, you get Express Pass, which is really cool. Disney, you need to start doing that. You need to go after 4 o'clock. You need to have Fast Passes on your system that you can go to any of the rides. But, that's just me. I would like it. I'm guessing you guys would like that too. But, yeah, so at Universal, Rock the Universe. So September 9th and 10th is when it's going to be happening. On September 9th, Friday, September 9th, you're going to have Skillet, Jeremy Camp, Matt Maurer, Ren Collective, KB, Lauren Daigle, and Finding Favor, I'm sorry. And another part of those are the people that are going to be playing and having a concert that night on the 9th. And then there's a fan zone section where you can meet people and have them sign autographs and stuff like that. They're not as big as them, that's why they're not playing, I guess. But you have Royce Lovett, Jillian Edwards, and 7/11th Time Down. So you have those three bands that you can get their autograph and stuff like that and talk to them. And then the other people are the ones that are playing that night. And then Saturday, September 10th, you have Lecrae, Toby Mac, Colton Dixon, which was on American Idol, Family Force 5, Andy Mineo, NF, or NIF, or however you say it, and I Am They. And then the fan zone bands are Ryan Stevenson, About the Author, and The New Respects. So those are the people that are playing, and you'll be able to see and talk to and all that good stuff on September 9th and 10th at Rock the Universe. And you can go on DiS-Versal.com and see the artist on our news thing. Click on the news, and then you can go to Rock the Universe. And you can go to the Rocketeer thing as well and read the article on that. I'm going to talk about DiS-Versal a little bit later. But you can see all the prices and stuff like that. They have really good prices and really good deals for the tickets for those nights. So if you plan on going to Rock the Universe, have fun. You might see my kids there. 2 of them at least. 2 of them are going to be going because one of them, they're old enough to go now. They went with their youth group. And one of them, the boy, Caleb, is very excited because he loves Universal and he loves going on the roller coasters. So him and his sister will have a very good time there. So the last thing we're going to be talking about today is DiS-Versal.com. So what DiS-Versal.com is, I used to have DisRadio247.com. Got rid of that since we moved everything over to to the whole theme park thing and going with DiS-Versal. What DiS-Versal.com is, there's a couple different sections of DiS-Versal.com that people might love and have fun with. So you have the news part where you'll get to see all the news for all the theme parks, Disney, Universal, Busch Gardens, stuff like that. So anything that comes up that I hear about, I do a news story on, and it ends up on the website, so you can do that. So you can check up every day on there. You can follow me on Twitter, and I post those news stories on Twitter on that as well. So you have the news part of it. You also have the radio part, DiS-Versal Radio, which again took over DiS-Versal, or Diz Radio 247. DiS-Versal Radio is a collective of all the theme parks, all the movies from each individual production, Disney movies, Universal movies, stuff like that. Even Legoland movie, everything is awesome. Love that song. But you can hear the music, you can hear the rides, and just have a good time listening to your favorite theme park music. And I'm going to be putting more podcasts on there so you can listen to other podcasts about Disney and Universal. And I'm trying to figure out a time slot that I'm going to be putting each one in. So I'm going to be doing Disney podcast and Universal podcast in different time slots. So if you know that, okay, well, at 1 o'clock Disney podcast start, and then at 4 o'clock Universal podcast start, or later in the day, because Disney's more family friendly, Universal's not so much, because Halloween Horror Nights and things like that, which closer to Halloween Horror Nights time, we'll be putting more of that stuff on the channel as well, on DiS-Versal Radio. So you'll have that to look forward to, and then we'll put that on at my nighttime. I don't know if it's going to be your nighttime, but it'll be my nighttime. So it'll be more of a older genre person that kind of thing. The Bill and Ted Show, again, it's not family friendly. It is there is cussing and things like that on Bill and Ted, so I'm going to try to find or edit the Bill and Ted Show, but it's going to be very hard because there's quite a bit of language in those shows. So I'm still up in the air if I'm actually going to put the show on the station or not. But you'll have more of the Universal podcast later on in the evening, possibly. So that's that part of it. The last part we're going to be talking about today is the community part of DiS-Versal Radio, or DiS-Versal.com. So what the community part is you can make a free profile, you can go on there and meet new friends, you can join the forums and talk about all the different parks. All the different parks are set up in different sections, so you don't have to read anything about Universal if you don't want to, or Disney if you don't want to. So you can go on there, start topics, ask questions, make comments, post pictures, videos, whatever you want to do, go on there. It's just going to be a giant community of people that love theme parks, and you know, we're not going to put each other down or anything like that. It's just going to be a fun time, and we're going to start doing, hopefully soon, once more people join DiS-Versal.com. And like I said, it's free. You don't have to ever worry about paying for anything on DiS-Versal.com. So I'm never going to charge for memberships or anything like that. But as soon as more people start joining and listening to the podcast and the radio station, we're going to do meetups. So basically, if you're another podcaster, or if you're a scoper at the different parks, or if you're just a fan of the show, or just a person that loves going on DiS-Versal.com and has, you know, met a lot of friends there and made a lot of friends, we're going to start doing meetups at the different parks and just go there and have fun and just enjoy the parks like they should be. So that's that. So look out for that. I'm going to start setting those up soon. And if I'm not in your city, because these are going to be in Florida, if you want to do a separate meetup over in California or Japan or wherever you guys are, and at Six Flags, if you're listening and you love Six Flags, you can do that. You know, I just want to, you know, to get along and have fun and make new theme park friends, because, you know, it's the best time in the world going to a theme park and having fun. You forget about the outside world, forget about all the things that are going on out there, and you just go and you have fun. And that's what this podcast is for and all about, and that's what theme parks are all about, and that's what I'm all about. So that's it for today. I hope you guys had as much fun as I did talking about all the different parks, and look forward to next week, next Friday. This podcast will be coming out every single Friday unless I have an accident and I'm not able to do it, and then yeah. So next Friday, like I said, I don't know for sure if it's going to be on Friday or it's going to be before or after, but there will be one next week. I just don't know when, if my baby comes or not, when he will be here and when I will be able to get this podcast done. So you guys have a great, big, beautiful tomorrow shining at the end of every day. Take care now. Bye-bye then.